Hello, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most emotionally charged and controversial storylines currently unfolding in Salem, the explosive custody battle that threatens to tear apart multiple families. The central question that has everyone on the edge of their seats is this: will Kat and Aaron Green attempt to reclaim baby Tesoro from Johnny and Chanel DiMera? This shocking development has sent shockwaves throughout Salem, leaving residents stunned and questioning what will happen next. The even bigger question looming over this entire saga is whether Amy Choy will agree to any potential reversal of the adoption arrangements, and how Belle Black will navigate the treacherous legal waters ahead. The adoption moves forward against all odds. In the coming week, Johnny DiMera and Chanel DiMera will experience what should be one of the most joyous moments of their lives. They will officially win the right to raise baby Tesoro and will also select what they believe to be the absolute perfect name for their precious new addition to the family. After enduring countless setbacks, disappointments, and roadblocks throughout the adoption process, this young couple will finally receive the news they've been desperately hoping for. However, their happiness will be devastatingly short-lived, as Aaron Green is poised to swiftly and mercilessly ruin their joy with a decision that could change everything. The question on everyone's mind is whether Aaron's sudden change of heart is driven by genuine paternal instinct or by outside pressure from family members who may have their own agenda. Aaron's crisis of conscience. The weekly promotional video for Days of Our Lives kicks off with a deeply troubled Aaron Green, portrayed by Louis Tomeo, who seeks counsel and emotional support from his close friend Tate Black, played by Leo Howard. In a heartbreaking and vulnerable moment of confession, Aaron reveals to Tate that he didn't even realize the child was biologically his until very recently, when the DNA test results finally came back. This revelation has clearly rocked Aaron to his core, forcing him to confront a reality he never anticipated. The weight of this newfound knowledge sits heavily on his shoulders, and the confusion and fear in his eyes are impossible to miss. Aaron will spend considerable time reflecting on the enormously significant fact that he has just signed away all of his parental rights to a child he barely knows exists. A decision that seemed so clear-cut and straightforward at the time but now fills him with profound doubt and regret. The possibility of reversal. Based on all the signs and behavioral cues, it certainly appears that Aaron will seriously contemplate having another attempt at claiming his parental rights, potentially reversing the decision he made in what he now views as haste. The internal turmoil Aaron experiences is palpable and real. On one hand, he recognizes that he is completely unprepared for the monumental responsibilities of fatherhood, lacking both the emotional maturity and financial stability required to raise a child. On the other hand, the biological connection and the knowledge that his own flesh and blood is out there in the world being raised by someone else creates an ache in his heart that he cannot easily dismiss. Will Aaron actually attempt to reverse his carefully considered decision, and thereby put Johnny and Chanel's long-awaited adoption in serious jeopardy? This question will dominate conversations throughout Salem in the days ahead, with friends and family members choosing sides in what promises to become an increasingly bitter dispute. The legal process continues. Regardless of whatever internal conflicts Aaron may be experiencing, the adoption process will indeed continue to move forward according to plan and schedule. Belle Black, the accomplished attorney portrayed by Martha Madison, will deliver the official and legally binding news to Chanel and Johnny that they are now formally recognized as the legal parents of baby Tesoro, whose portrayers are Joseph Ilanf and Jordan Perdue. This moment of official confirmation will be filled with overwhelming emotion, tears of joy, and relief that their long journey has finally reached its destination. However, Belle will likely be aware of the storm clouds gathering on the horizon in the form of Aaron's potential change of heart, and she may need to prepare her clients for a possible legal challenge that could emerge in the near future. The name that was never meant to last. Of course, the name Tesoro, which translates to treasure in Spanish, has always been understood to be nothing more than a fun, affectionate placeholder nickname used by his various foster families and temporary caregivers during his brief time in the system. The name served its purpose during this transitional period, providing a term of endearment that acknowledged the child's inherent value and preciousness while everyone waited to see where he would permanently land. Now that Johnny and Chanel have been officially designated as the baby's adoptive parents, they will be the ones granted the privilege and responsibility of bestowing upon the baby a more permanent meaningful name, one that will follow him throughout his entire life and become an integral part of his identity. The perfect name revealed. After careful deliberation and heartfelt discussion about family legacy and honoring those who came before, Johnny and Chanel will believe they have discovered and settled upon the absolutely perfect name for their son. In a touching scene filled with emotion and significance, Johnny and Chanel will gather their closest family members and supporters, including Belle Black, the legendary Marlena Evans portrayed by Deidre Hall, and Chanel's formidable mother Paulina Price played by Jackie Harry, to make the official announcement that the baby will henceforth be known as Trey, which serves as a shortened, more contemporary version of John III. This naming choice carries tremendous weight and meaning, as it directly honors the iconic John Black legacy that has been such an integral part of Salem's history for decades. By choosing this particular name, Johnny and Chanel are not only creating their own family unit but also explicitly connecting their son to the broader Black family heritage and ensuring that the legendary name continues into yet another generation. The emotional fallout. While Johnny and Chanel celebrate this momentous milestone in their journey to parenthood, the news definitely will not land easily or gently for several other Salem residents who have become emotionally invested in baby Tesoro's future. Leo Stark, portrayed by Greg Reichart, and Javi Hernandez, played by Al Calderon, have both developed strong, genuine attachments to the little one during their time serving as his foster caregivers and temporary guardians. These two men have poured their hearts into caring for this vulnerable infant, staying up through countless sleepless nights, learning his unique needs and preferences, and genuinely falling in love with the child they hope might become a permanent part of their lives. Now they must face the heartbreaking reality that they will have to say goodbye to little T, as they affectionately call him, and watch him transition into someone else's family. The grief and sense of loss they will experience should not be underestimated or dismissed, as they have formed real bonds with this baby during their time together. The broader implications. The situation becomes even more complex when we consider the various interconnected relationships and family dynamics at play throughout this entire scenario. Sophia Choi, portrayed by Rachel Boyd, has already made the difficult decision to sign away her own parental rights to her biological son. UNABLE are unwilling to take on the responsibilities of motherhood at this stage in her young life. Her mother, Amy Choi, played by Sheenie Nielsen, has been vocal in expressing her strong objections against Johnny and Chanel being granted custody of her grandson, creating additional tension and obstacles throughout the adoption process. If Aaron does indeed attempt to reverse his decision and reclaim his parental rights, it could potentially open up a whole new avenue of legal challenges and family disputes that would drag everyone back into court and prolong the uncertainty surrounding this innocent child's future. What happens next? The central question that will drive the storyline forward in coming weeks is whether Aaron will actually follow through with any attempt to challenge the adoption, or whether he will ultimately recognize that Johnny and Chanel can provide the stable, loving home that his biological son deserves and needs. Tate Black may play a crucial role in helping Aaron work through his complicated feelings and arrive at the decision that serves the baby's best interests rather than simply satisfying Aaron's own emotional needs. Meanwhile, Kat Green, portrayed by Annalyn McCord, will also step into a supporting role, offering comfort and guidance to her brother as he navigates these uncharted waters of unexpected fatherhood and the weight of life-altering decisions. The coming weeks promise to deliver emotional confrontations, difficult conversations, and potentially explosive courtroom drama as multiple parties stake their claims to this innocent child who has already been passed between so many different caregivers in his short life. The residents of Salem are collectively holding their breath, waiting to see how this complex custody situation will ultimately resolve itself. Will love and stability prevail, or will biological connections and family pressure create chaos that serves no one's interests, least of all the vulnerable infant at the center of this storm? Only time will reveal the answers to these burning questions, and you can be certain that we will be here to bring you all the latest developments, shocking twists, and emotional revelations as this gripping storyline continues to unfold on Days of Our Lives. Next, Friday, October 31st, 2025. Halloween in Salem has always been a time when the lines between fantasy and reality blur, but this year's celebration is one that fans won't soon forget. The night begins with laughter, costumes, and the charm of Horton Square transformed into a glowing carnival of pumpkins and lights. But beneath the playful masks and festive music, a storm of emotion brews, and before the night is over, shocking secrets, fiery confrontations, and eerie coincidences will shake the town to its core. The calm before the chaos. As the camera pans across Horton Square, the familiar faces of Salem's residents fill the screen. Children run past in bright costumes, couples sip cider, and the air carries that nostalgic mix of autumn spice and tension, because this is Days of Our Lives, and peace never lasts long. In the midst of the celebration, Stephanie Johnson stands apart, her elegant masquerade gown catching the candlelight. She looks like she belongs at a royal ball, not at a small-town Halloween festival. Yet her trembling hands betray the truth tonight. She is hiding something. For weeks, viewers have watched Stephanie wrestle with a secret that could change everything. Her connection to Tesoro, the mysterious newcomer with ties to both the DiMera and Hernandez families, has been whispered about in corners of Salem. Tonight, the whispers turn into shouts as she prepares to reveal who she truly is and why she's been lying to everyone she loves. Alex's protective rage. Before Stephanie can gather her courage, Alex Kyriakis appears at her side. His usual swagger is muted tonight. Instead, there's a quiet protectiveness in his tone as he tells her, "You don't have to do this alone." Alex's affection for Stephanie has grown from playful flirtation into something deeper, but his fiery temper remains his greatest weakness. When he spots Jeremy Horton across the square, the atmosphere shifts. Their long-standing rivalry, already strained by jealousy and betrayal, boils over. Alex strides across the crowd, his voice low but dangerous, and corners Jeremy near the edge of the square. "Stay away from her," Alex warns. His eyes are hard, his jaw tight. "If you ever hurt Stephanie again, you'll regret it." Jeremy, wearing a half-hearted pirate costume that does little to hide his arrogance, smirks. "You think you scare me, Kyriakis. I've changed. I'm not that guy anymore." But his words crumble as his own temper flares. When Alex steps closer, Jeremy's face reddens, his fists clench, and for a moment, just a moment, it seems like Salem's Halloween crowd might witness a fight instead of fireworks. A stranger with secrets. Before things can explode, a voice interrupts, calm, smooth, and unfamiliar. "Jeremy Horton, is that really you?" The crowd parts as Cooper Choy enters the scene. Dressed simply but confidently, he introduces himself as Sophia Choy's brother, a name that instantly stirs suspicion. Sophia, as longtime viewers know, disappeared from Salem years ago under mysterious circumstances connected to Tesoro's shady past. Jeremy's bravado fades the moment he sees Cooper. His eyes widen, his voice falters, and he seems entranced. When Cooper offers a handshake, Jeremy hesitates, then takes it. Suddenly, his expression changes. His voice drops to a whisper. It's happening again. The eerie music swells. Alex, unsettled, takes a step back. Jeremy clutches his hand, his eyes flickering with confusion and fear, as if some old magic or old guilt has returned to haunt him. Cooper simply smiles and walks away, leaving a stunned silence behind. Stephanie steps into the light. As the crowd murmurs, Stephanie finally steps forward. Her mask slips, both literally and figuratively, as she addresses the people gathered. "There's something you all deserve to know," she begins, her voice shaking but resolute. "I haven't been honest, not with my friends, not with my family. My name isn't the only thing I've been hiding." The square goes still. Even Alex, caught between anger and heartbreak, watches in disbelief. Stephanie reveals that she has been working undercover with Tesoro, not against Salem, but to protect it. Tesoro's so-called family isn't just a secret organization, it's a network of people wronged by the DiMera legacy, and now, one by one, they are resurfacing. The mention of Tesoro's new family sparks chaos. Whispers ripple through the square. Who are they? What do they want? And most importantly, why now? Shadows over Salem. By the end of the episode, the Halloween festivities have dissolved into confusion. Jeremy disappears again, Alex storms off in fury, and Stephanie stands alone under the flickering lights, her mask at her feet. As the credits roll, the final scene cuts to a dimly lit room outside town. Tesoro stands before a wall covered in photographs, Alex, Stephanie, Jeremy, and Cooper among them. He murmurs, "It's time they remember who they are." Then, one by one, he pins up new photos, the Tesoro family found at last. The week ahead, questions that haunt. Has Jeremy fallen under Tesoro's control again? What is Cooper Choy's real connection to Sophia and to Salem's dark past? Will Alex's anger push Stephanie away just as she needs him most? And who, exactly, are the members of Tesoro's new family? This Halloween, Salem reminded us that behind every mask lies a truth, and sometimes, that truth is more terrifying than any ghost or ghoul.